Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is NEStalgiaholic. I was at Bookman's the other day, which is one of my favorite places to shop here in Phoenix because they got a whole bunch of games, retro games, memorabilia, and all that good stuff. So I'll tell you what I found, and this is really cool. I think you guys will get a kick out of this. I found this complete box set of Mad magazine. Well, it's complete up until 1999. Over 500 issues. I was really worried that it wasn't going to work on my Windows because it's compatible with Windows 95 and 98. Obviously, Vista and all that wasn't around back then, but sure enough, it works. I want to show you a little closer look at the Mad. It's a huge box. This thing opens up, and this is Alfred Newman, which is he's the main. I guess he's the face of Mad magazine. Here's the back. And it's really cool. I've been spending hours going through these, and I loved Mad magazine growing up. And believe it or not, this is the huge box, right? All that's in it are these 7 discs right here. So let's take a closer look. I paid $25 for this, so it's not a bad deal. I want to show you some cool magazines. Okay guys, here's the main menu. These all come with discs, so this is the first one. This is years 52 through 60, the one I have in now. We've got just 2 and 3, which are the years, the early years. And it's 1961 to 1968, 1969 to 1994. Here's more what I'm familiar with growing up. This is years 1975 to 1980, 81 to 87. And then you got the late 80s, early 90s, up until 1998. Okay? Now they still make Mad magazine. It's a quarterly basis. It comes out once every quarter, so it's 4 times a year. Before it was, actually I think it started monthly. They went down to 8 times issues a year, now it's 4. There's obviously Mad. Mad is huge. I mean, it came out in 1952. There's a show Mad at TV, which is kind of a spin-off, and that was debuted, I believe, in 1994. It's kind of like an in living color spin-off, but they don't have anything to do with the magazine itself, like any skits or anything. But this is the main. These are the magazines. This is the first one ever made. And there's a table of contents here, which is kind of cool, and you can click on the story, and it automatically open up to that particular part of the comic, if you want to call it that, or magazine. Now that's kind of very small, so we can zoom in here, and then you just drag and kind of read like so. So it's perfect. It's a really cool way. Now, Spy versus Spy is a famous thing here for Mad magazine, and they actually made a game off of Spy versus Spy, which was actually ported to NES as well, which is a kind of an interesting thing as well. Now, Alfred Newman is also kind of the face of Mad magazine now, and he didn't make his debut on the cover until 1956, December. And there he is. So let's go and open this up, and it's basically it's a satire magazine. Essentially, what it is, if you guys aren't familiar with it, there's these comics, and it makes fun and pokes fun at things. So there's politics, movies, TV shows of the day. In this particular one, it's Elvis Pelvis, so it's making fun of. It's like Elvis Presley, obviously, but I like the anime. The cartoons are funny. It's hysterical. Let me pop into a CD from the 70s, 80s that you guys might recognize more magazines from. Okay. Now, if there's any particular magazine you'd like to see a closer look at, this has got over 500 magazines altogether. They still do make Mad magazines, as I mentioned before, but this is where the covers are getting fun. Tower and Inferno. Let's go down here in 1975. This is fun. This is Jaws, making fun of Jaws. And see, every cover has Alfred Newman in it somehow. Yuck. Classic. Let's go to contents real quick. Let's open that up. Jawed. So open up Jawed. And this is it making fun of Jaws. These were released overseas in Europe as well, and all over the world, but I don't think they were as popular as they were here in the States. There's another similar, like a rip-off magazine called Cracked, which I don't know if you guys remember as well, and that started off in the 50s, and unfortunately they don't no longer make Cracked magazines anymore, but I think there is a website, which I'll put a link on the side here. I do have a couple Cracked magazines, maybe I'll show you. But let's go back. The covers, there's one particular one I want to show you. There's a Star Trek one, it's pretty funny. Rocky. Star Wars. Star Wars musical, this is pretty funny. Let's go back to the contents. Force and I. Zoom in. So basically they have these musical, and this is to The Force and I. It's to, what song is this for? Bear with me. Sung to Maria. Okay? And what's funny is they had a whole bunch of these things, and it was, the lyrics were different. You sang it to the tune of Maria in this case, but they got a huge ticket to Supreme Court, and they got sued and stuff by a couple companies who, music artists, that Matt obviously ended up winning, which was cool. But that's interesting. Let's flip through here. We had Fred Flintstone, and these are just classic. I mean, you could go spend days just reading all this stuff, man. It's funny stuff. Let's go back to the covers. Now there's also, pull down, there's also some other extras here. There's a jukebox. You got the mad music. Disco clap, barely alive. Huh. Let's see, what's disco suicide? So interesting. I guess you're supposed to listen to this. Alright, disco died, and let's leave it dead. That's not cool. But see how every issue has another Jaws one. Here's a Superman one. Man, disco. Oh, here's a cool one. Oh, I need to pop in the CD for that one, yeah. Let's do that. Let's pop in the CD, shall we? Okay, so we opened up this Yoda one. And let's flip the page here. You can do either, you can search page by page. There's a table of contents in here. Or you can go to contents, table of contents, and skip to it. So let's go to Empire Strikes Out, Star Wars. And this is essentially Empire Strikes Back. It's like a spoof. Let's zoom in so we can read it. And you can move it around like so. You can print these pages out, which is kind of cool. There's always something going on. I mean, look, you got Spock in the background here. And you got some guy getting pelted by a snowball. Pretty funny stuff. I mean, this is great. I mean, you could spend hours reading this stuff. Let's go back to table of contents. Now, one thing I really enjoyed about these magazines, these Mad magazines, were the fold-ins. There were these special fold-ins. Let's flip to that. And there's one picture here. Let's zoom in on this. Okay, so you see a fountain, and people traveling, and you basically grab it. I guess you gotta zoom out to do it. See how it folds? And now look at it. Now it's a guy in like a funeral. There's a guy in a casket. It's pretty funny. So those fold-ins are pretty funny because you see one picture and you fold it, and you can see a completely different picture. Let's go back. Let's do this. Let's get to covers. You can save bookmark stuff. Well, kind of annoying sound scrolling down, but Indiana Jones, you got Mad, Pac-Man. This is pretty funny. Spy versus Spy. This is what I was talking about earlier. There were games released for Spy versus Spy on the computer. There was a port to Nintendo as well. Pretty funny stuff. Let's see what their fold-in is for this one. Scroll down. So it looks like you got a princess, there's a snow, there's a castle. Let's fold it. What the hell is that? I said, but I hope you freeze your blank ass. It's just a donkey. That's pretty funny. And it's cool, even the words. That's pretty neat. They thought of everything in this thing. It's awesome. You got Rocky, E.T. right there. It's funny. Superman. Now, DC in 1992, DC Comics actually took over. This is the Return Jedi version. DC took over this and bought the rights to all the Mad magazines. So ever since '92, you got Gremlins. We do have a whole bunch of these. There's the Hulk, which I know MNC would appreciate. Gun. Mad, some Michael Jackson, instead Bad. Alfred Newman. See how he's on most of the covers? Not every cover. It's kind of like Playboy, where there's that hidden Playboy logo on it. It's kind of like Mad does the same thing with his logo. Oh, this is pretty funny. Mario Brothers. I don't have that CD in right now for that, but Simpsons. Let's pop that CD in real quick.